Good day. This is the group assignment presentation for Group 25. Today we're assessing whether or not Mpenjati coffee is able to enter the Ghanaian market. Some background information. Mpenjati coffee is a well-renowned brand in South Africa producing sustainably grown coffee beans. Besides this, they have a cafe that produces a wide range of products from both food and beverage options. To assess whether or not Mpenjati coffee is able to enter the Ghanaian market, we first need to cover the basic needs. These include demand. Currently, there is a growing demand for coffee in Ghana. Mpenjati coffee itself offers quite a wide range of products and allows flexibility in its planning on how to enter the Ghanaian market. Currently, the vast majority of coffee shops are very location dependent. Centering themselves in urban areas, most of these coffee shops are single ownership operations and tend to cater to quite an expensive market. This leaves a significant gap in the market for Mpenjati coffee to fill, this being the cheaper, more student or young professional orientated gap. Geographic accessibility. The majority of these coffee shops are in urban areas, these being densely populated areas such as Accra, Kumasi, Tamale, and Cape Coast. It has been identified that the average price of a cappuccino between these locations are around 40-60 rand. Mpenjati coffee itself offers a large cappuccino for 42 rand. This emphasizes the cheaper option for students. It is very important for Mpenjati coffee to consider the cultural and social implications of Ghana, this being 71% of the population is Christian and 20% is Muslim. Therefore, considering cultural activities such as Christmas, Easter, and Ramadan is very important. Having themed products centered around these holidays can help integrate into the Ghanaian market. Social norms such as respect and showing consideration is very highly valued in Ghana, and having a management style that is very adaptable is crucial to succeed. In summary, there are many competitors in the Ghanaian market, but there is a gap in offering affordable coffee. Mpenjati's coffee is able to fulfill this gap thanks to its competitive pricing. Mpenjati coffee must also consider adapting to local customs and social norms in order to succeed. Mpenjati coffee most certainly has an opportunity to succeed in the Ghanaian market if they take into consideration their affordable pricing. Thank you.
I'm Carl Jansen van Veen, and I'm going to do the economic and financial screening. For Ghana's economic overview, the GDP growth has been in the first half of 2024, their GDP grew by 5.9%, up from 2.8% in the same period in 2023, driven by an 8.1% growth in the industry sector. For the inflation rate, it peaked at 54% in 2022, but decreased to 23% by December 2024. But Ghana is undergoing debt restructuring as part of its $3 billion IMF program, initiated in 2023 to address high debt levels. For Ghana's coffee market, the Ghanaian coffee market is projected to grow by 0.7% annually from 2025 to 2029, reaching a market volume of approximately 2.19 million by 2029. Ghana has a strong tea drinking culture, with coffee consumption gradually increasing, particularly among urban youth. For the import tariffs and regulations, the import duties, Ghana imposes import duties ranging from 5% to 20% on coffee products, depending on the type and form of the product. While for VAT, it stays at the standard rate of 12.5%, which applies to most goods and services, including coffee. The currency they use in Ghana is the Ghanaian cedi. The cedi has experienced fluctuations due to economic challenges, impacting import costs and pricing strategies. For the competitive landscape, local competitors, there are several local brands dominating the market. While for international brands, there isn't really a presence and the brands are limited, indicating potential market entry opportunities. For distribution and retail channels, retail outlets, coffee products are primarily sold through supermarkets, convenience stores, and informal markets. For e-commerce, online sales are emerging but remain a small fraction of the total retail sales. For the economic risk and consideration, for political stability, Ghana is considered politically stable, which is favorable for business operations. While the economic policies, they have ongoing economic reforms under the IMF program, which may affect taxation and business regulations. For the competitive landscape, their strength is the growing economy, increasing urbanization, and youthful population open to new products. Weakness includes its small coffee market size, strong competition from tea, and import duties increasing costs. The opportunities is the untapped market potential, limited international competition, and growing middle class. And the threat is currency volatility, economic reforms, and the potential changes in import regulations. In conclusion, while Ghana's economy shows positive growth indicators, the coffee market remains relatively small with modest growth projections. Import duties and currency volatility present additional challenges. We recommend a cautious approach is advised, conducting a pilot market entry with a focus on niche segments or markets or partnerships with local distributors could mitigate risk. Continuous monitoring of economic reforms and market trends is essential to adapt the strategies accordingly.
So now we're looking at the legal and political screening. So the political screening. So Ghana poses several import and export barriers, such as import bans and restrictions on certain pharmaceuticals, tariff and non-tariff barriers applies to high import duties on some goods, as well as regulatory changes. So importers must obtain certificates to do importations and invisible trade barriers, such as custom delays. Then we're looking at the foreign ownership. So foreign ownership in Ghana is subject to certain restrictions that include land ownership, so foreigners cannot own land outright. Mpenjati will need to acquire leasehold agreement. Property investments, foreigners can purchase freehold property through a registered company, or transactions require title deed as proof of ownership. Then we're looking at business restrictions. So some sectors are reserved for Ghanaian citizens. This includes small-scale retail, taxi services, and beauty salons. Now, the stable government policy. So Ghana has maintained a welcome stand toward foreign investment, but stability in the country's policies has fluctuated due to economic and regulatory challenges and shifts. When we look at the legal screening, laws governing international contracts include the private international law. So Ghana follows English common law rules for determining the applicable law in international contracts. Then we have the Contracts Act and international legal instruments. So Ghana has been encouraged to adopt global conventions like the United Nations Convention on Contracts for the international sale of goods. Then some specific national laws, such as the Ghana Investment Promotion Center Act, employment and labor laws, Labor Act and regulations, as well as the commercial and investment laws, so Ghana Investment Act, Free Zone Act, Alternative Disputes Resolution Act. Lastly, we look at intellectual properties protection, so Copyright Act, the Trademark Act, and then the Patent Act. Restricted sectors, as mentioned, certain industries are reserved for Ghanaian citizens, meaning Mpenjati Coffee will not be able to operate within these areas. But since the company focuses on providing coffee to the public, it will not be affected by these restrictions. Investment requirements, Mpenjati Coffee will first need to register with the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, as well as meet the minimum requirements to be able to operate successfully in the Ghanaian country.
Today, I'll be walking you through a social-cultural analysis that highlights the key factors influencing Mpenjati Coffee's market entry and success potential in Ghana. Social-cultural factors are incredibly important when considering market expansion, as they shape consumer behavior, influence brand perception, and impact long-term business success in foreign markets. We've assessed Ghana's environment through 4 key lenses, which are coffee culture and consumer preferences, language and communication, religion and dietary customs, and business etiquette and relationship building. Let's start with coffee culture and consumer preferences. On the positive side, coffee consumption is rising, particularly among the urban middle class. There's a growing cafe culture in major cities, and with increasing discretionary income, more consumers are willing to pay for premium coffee. However, it's important to note that instant coffee still dominates due to affordability, and tea remains more popular in rural areas. For many, coffee is still seen as a luxury, thus limiting daily consumption. Moving on to language and communication. English is Ghana's official language and widely used in urban and business settings, making communication and digital marketing more accessible. Yet, outside urban centers, local languages like Twi, Ga, and Dagbani are dominant. For deeper market penetration, Mpenjati Coffee must embrace localized messaging and be culturally sensitive. Understanding traditional greetings and indirect communication styles will be essential. Next, religion and dietary customs. Fortunately, coffee consumption is culturally and religiously accepted. Mpenjati's commitment to ethical and sustainable sourcing aligns with local values. However, for Muslim consumers, halal certification might be necessary, and transparency in processing will build trust across diverse communities. Finally, on business etiquette and relationship building. Ghana's relationship-driven business culture aligns well with Mpenjati Coffee's approach. Face-to-face meetings and trust are highly valued. With that being said, negotiations may take time, as strong partnerships are built through mutual understanding and consistent engagement. In summary, while there are cultural practices and challenges to navigate, Ghana presents a promising opportunity for Mpenjati Coffee, especially with a thoughtfully, locally aligned strategy.
We'll now move on to the competition and local market dynamics. Let's kick it off with the favorable conditions. The first one of them being a developing premium coffee demand in the country of Ghana. Ghana's coffee market is still growing, but shows increasing interest in premium coffee products. Events like Ghana Coffee Week reflect rising enthusiasm with both local and international brands participating, signaling a maturing market for premium coffee. The second one being opportunity in the premium segment. The premium coffee sector is not saturated, leaving space and opportunity for Mpenjati to capitalize on. Differentiation through single origin and sustainability can give Mpenjati a massive competitive edge. Growing foreign investment indicates a more open and competitive market. Number 3, room for innovation. The market offers strong potential for creative product development. Mpenjati can align with ethical sourcing and sustainability trends. There's also opportunity to tap into local taste preferences by using unique blends that reflect Ghanaian flavors. We'll now move on to the unfavorable conditions. The first one of them being strong local competition. The mass market segment is dominated by local brands offering affordable options. These brands enjoy strong customer loyalty rooted in national pride and familiarity. Ghanaians generally prefer and support homegrown coffee products. Number 2, international competitors. Global coffee brands are entering the market with established and strong reputations. These brands may offer competitive pricing, making it harder and difficult for Mpenjati to maintain a premium positioning. Mpenjati faces the challenge of standing out against recognized international brands.
After the market screening process, we have decided that Mpenjati Coffee will be entering the Ghanaian market. The mode of entry in which we will use is a strategic alliance with libraries. This is because libraries are closely associated to our target market, which is students. And we have a goal to have equity in Ghana and retain our ownership. And so when we were deciding on the mode of entry in which we would use, we were left with two options, which is either a strategic alliance or a greenfield investment. A greenfield investment was not advisable due to the legal restrictions, and that is why we went with a strategic alliance with libraries. The benefits that come with a strategic alliance is that we will be able to conduct primary research that will help us make informed decisions in future, and we will be able to improve our competitive positioning while winning over our market share. The way we plan to win our market share is to immerse ourselves in the market by participating in events such as Ghana Coffee Week, by advertising in their languages, incorporating their holidays in our business operations, and collaborating with their local suppliers. This will show them that we are for them and that we are with them. The long-term plan is to create a greenfield investment after a strategic alliance. We will be able to do so through a provision in the legal system that will allow us to lease a place in order to plant our greenfield investment. And after the strategic alliance, by then, we would have established our reputation in Ghana. We would have a position in the market. And because of the research that we would have conducted, we will be able to lower the risk by making informed decisions. And because through the strategic alliance, we will be able to improve our financial standing, we will be able to take on the legal and financial implications that come with a greenfield investment. And so with that being said, we look forward to our adventure in the Ghanaian market. Thank you for your time.